Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and I am a bit behind, but I finally got to the last of the clubs of the month, and I'm going to be playing with the card kit this time, and I'm probably going to make some simple cards because all of this stuff is so simple and easy to use. It is what it is. This is just so stinking cute. So everything is now out of the box. These are stinking adorable. These are all of our little embroidery rings because this one, of course, is called So Happy. Get my envelopes and card bases out of the way. And then, of course, all of these pretty papers that look a lot like fabrics. We've got a bunch of stickers, ephemera, chipboard pieces, and some stamps. Plus, we have a die set that I put up to the side. Let me grab that. And the die set, most of this would create our little frames like this. Looks like it might be a little thinner than the frames that we've got here from our chipboard pieces, but it also has some flowers and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting together a couple of cards. What I think I want to start off with, though, is the ephemera. The ephemera is so really pretty. Okay, I kind of got everything spread out, and it's a tremendous mess, but I do have kind of things in categories, I guess. What I decided to do first, though, because I saw this little bird, there are some pieces in here that are perfect kind of for focal image, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it kind of an accent for a focal image, but still one of the main pieces. So I went through and looked through some of the pattern paper in here, and they're so pretty, and decided I wanted to do one of the hoops, and I think I'm actually going to do a couple. And I'm going to stamp on some pattern paper, and this pattern paper is going to go behind the hoop. So you kind of get the idea there. So I'm going to stamp this one out. This one says, "Thanks, you made my day," because we always need some thank you cards. And I put the hoop down so I have a basic idea of where it would need to be in the center. I'm pretty sure that if I turn it by quarters, I can actually get 4 on there. So let's see how that one would work. Here's a way to do it. I'll just do a quick and dirty little stamping on the back real quick to kind of see how it's going to look. And just make sure that I'll have space to be able to do 4 of them around with 4 different little hoops. I've got this kind of centered in the center. And then I'm just going to turn the page, and I'm just stamping on the back because it's not going to be seen on the front. So this is just to give me an idea, and I could have done this with any 6x6 paper, but this is what was close and handy. Actually, I don't need to do all 4 because if it works on one side, it'll work on another. So if I put one there, and I put one about there, the circles, that's the important part. These circles don't overlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out my sentiment on the front, emboss all of it. So I'm going to do that with some embossing powder. And then I can just cut this down into 4 3.5 by 3 inch squares. Okay. And what I'm going to use to do the stamping, because I want to make sure it can be seen on here, and I don't know that I really want the black because so much of this is just going to be colorful, I'm going to go with some suede shoes. So I'm going to go with that really nice dark blue color. Okay, so stamping that down. Probably need to stamp it at least a couple of times, but it is dark enough that it's going to show against that tealish or turquoisey kind of color. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn my paper back into that corner and stamp the next one. And before that has time to dry, let me go ahead and put some embossing powder down and heat that up. And this is just some clear embossing powder. But that's one of my favorite tricks with embossing is if you only have a couple of colors of embossing powder, but you have lots of different pigment inks or inks that stay a little bit, or inks that are going to stay wet a little bit longer, all you have to do is put clear embossing powder over them and it'll look like you did embossing in that color. So now I'm going to trim this down so there are 4 3x3 pieces, and then I can start mounting them behind a couple of my little rings here. That is going to be perfect. First, I want to take out this piece though. These are all chipboard pieces, as you can tell, and they have parts of it are not completely poked out, so I want to take out that little bit that's kind of in the middle there. Don't want that. And oh, that is going to look adorable. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue behind my chipboard piece. And then center that. Over my thanks message. Okay, and then all I have to do now is just trim off the excess. And you can cut this smaller than your ring. It doesn't have to be exact, but you do want it to be at least behind that outer ring. That looks cute. So after I did the first one, I decided, you know, it probably doesn't really matter where this piece is positioned. So I went ahead and just positioned it kind of randomly on the other panels and trimmed those. It looks like this one I missed a little bit, so let me get that off. So now they each look like there is some fabric behind it and that we stitched on. Thanks, you made my day. Next, I'm taking some embossed panels that I already had in my stash. I'm going to trim those down a little bit so that it'll fit nicer on the front of our card. And then I can start adding these and some of the other bits together and make 4 quick and easy thanks cards. To adhere these embossed panels down, because glue sometimes has trouble sticking onto embossed panels, I'm going to try using the double-sided adhesive tape that comes in the kit as well to adhere my panels down. And hopefully that will hold down better and faster with it being this tape instead of being the liquid glue. Now the downside on this is that of course I'm not going to be able to have that little bit of wiggle room once I press it firmly down. A lot of times tapes though, if you don't press it down firmly to start off with, then you should be able to lift it back up and reposition it if you have to. Here's another trick. You can peel back part of the release paper and create some little handles to be able to add it on. So that means that only half of your adhesive is showing and you can kind of have an idea of where everything is, and then you can just pull off those remaining bits. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere the first of these down. And even though this is straight sentiment, I think I'm going to have it a little bit offset anyway. Just kind of a little bit wonky. And then I can add... Oh yes, I think I want the little bird right there. That'll be so cute. And this already has... Oops, looks like part of it ripped off. This has adhesive on the back of it, but since part of the adhesive ripped off of mine, probably won't happen on yours, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the back of that, and then I can position my bird. But I think I actually need to pop him up a little bit too, because this chipboard is a little bit higher than my background. So let's add a couple of pieces of chipboard. I mean, a couple of pieces of foam. And I can go ahead and add those on the back of my little bird. I know I need one back here on the tail. I think these 3 should be enough. Let me go ahead and remove the release paper, and then I can put my little bird down. And I think I do need one more piece of foam behind the bird's head because it's not overlaying the chipboard. And it's on the paper, so I think that'll make it so that it basically is going to stay pretty much flat across the top and won't have any kind of an issue with possibly, you know, getting smushed. Okay, there we go. I don't think it needs anything else. Okay, I love that card. So that's my first card done. Let me grab out another of my panels so I can put another one Not going to use this one. Now, this time I'm using, for this panel, it's like an off-white shimmer. And I think that this one is kind of a wood grain, so I don't want to do that because that'll basically make it so that you can't see it as well. So I'll put this one here, I think. Sometimes you just got to play with a bunch of little things to see how you want to do it. So I've got these cute little pins. These are all pieces of the ephemera. I've got these cute little pins here. I'm going to put them up in the corner here. I know I have to hold these with my tweezers because I cannot hold them with my fingers. And just kind of have them crossing each other a little bit. They're going to be sticking out from behind my my little embroidery hoop. Okay, then I can put my embroidery hoop down. Go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this one. And the only dimension on this one is going to be from the chipboard embroidery hoop. And I think I'm going to have the sentiment pretty much straight. Let's see. There we go. And then I'm going to add a couple of bits of floss down here and a little tiny needle. Hey, look at that. That is too cute. Down here at the bottom. So I'm going to put the needle behind everything. Put that one down first because I want it to kind of be sticking behind my floss. And then I can add the two little flosses and I'll have them just kind of crossing each other. And I just noticed, I didn't notice before, but you could use these as sentiments as well because they have words on them. This one says wonderful and the other one says amazing. So I think I'm going to put them crossing each other but not covering up the words. Did not notice the words on there when I picked these up. And that is going to finish up the second card. I think that turned out pretty cute. So for this one, I decided I'm going to pull out some of the florals. So again, I'm going to first put down my little embroidery hoop. I told you, these guys, these are so super easy and quick. And you can add your own touch to them. Okay, add that one down. It looks like it's about straight. And I think I am going to use some more foam. So I'm going to put this little guy with flowers over here, and I'm going to add this one up at the top. Yes, that's going to be cute. Need to add some foam to the back of him. Because all I've done so far on any of these cards is I started off with a general idea of my focal image that I want to use. And then I'm adding a little bit of embellishment to it, and all the cards are looking a little bit different. Okay, so that is going to work for that piece. And then I think I want to use these little buttons. That is kind of cute. And luckily, I did not glue it too close to the edge, so I can actually put this a little bit behind my frame there. Add some adhesive down. And then I can put this guy, just slide him in place. And then on top of that, there's also all these little buttons. They've had a bunch of little button dies too. Little die cuts. So I'm going to pull a few of those out. And maybe scatter those around the bottom over here. Okay, I'm going to go with those four, I think. So, put some glue on the back of one. Yeah, I know I picked up two, but that's okay. It's because I figured it would be easier than me trying to disconnect them before putting it down. And this one I'm going to have overlapping that one that I just put down anyway. So have it do a little overlap, and then I've got these last two little guys. And that finishes my third card. Okay, this one is going to be stinking cute. I told you there's a lot of different pieces in here. First, I'm going to put down my dressmaker's mannequin. I'm going to put that down flat on my card. Kind of off to the side over here. Then I'll put my embroidery hoop down with the sentiment. kind of overlapping a little bit, but so that you can see it well. Then we've got this little guy. It is so stinking cute. And I need to put foam on the back of him. So love this little snail. He is so precious. I'm going to add a little bit of extra foam. And now this is my Scotch foam tape. And it is about half the height, or half the thickness of my foam tape that came, or foam dots that came in the kit. So what I'm going to do with that is this time I'm going to actually, and I could have done this on all of them, I think. I'm going to add a little bit of foam along this line here so that my image will pop up right where I want it. And won't have that sagginess. Okay, so now we can just remove that. So the rest of the body is going to be up a little bit higher, but this should be right about where I need him. Okay, that is perfect. I think that is so cute. Okay, I got a couple more pieces to add on to this. And that's going to be these little pins again. I think they are adorable. And they're just going to kind of cross each other down here on the floor, because it looks like they came off of our little pincushion there, right? And that's going to finish up this last card. So let's take a quick look at all 4 cards again. And this is using 1 sheet of the pattern paper, and there is a ton of pattern paper in there, you guys. This pattern paper pack, again, has, I don't know how many pages, but look, it's got a lot of different ones, and most of them look like they could be fabric, which means it would work perfect as your little background there for your embroidery hoop. We've got this super sweet and simple one with the chipboard bird. We've got some flowers and buttons. We've got some floss for some embroidery and a couple of pins. And then we've got the dressmaker's form and that cute little snail pincushion. Oh my goodness, these are just adorable. So you guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to check out the playlist over here to see some more videos where I'm making projects with Spellbinders products. And remember, if I can make it, you can too. Have a great day.